Hello everybody, this is Miss Mariah from the Allen County Public Library, and this is our art education program. It's a program designed to give you a little bit of information about an artist, a style, a technique, and I give you the information you need to further educate yourself. I have the website addresses and some fun facts about artists and techniques that they had developed, or techniques that were already out there that they put on the map. So good morning. It's been a cool January so far, but spring is 60 days away. I'm coming to you from my kitchen. So if you see anything like a mess, just please overlook it. I thought it would be safer in here than in my living room because my pets tend to, make an appearance. Although Ronnie can jump up on the kitchen table, so you might see him. So today, I've got a bunch of stuff going on, and I'll be posting the pictures of the paintings and stuff that I'll be referring to. Speak of the devil, there he is. But that will be at the end. We're going to talk about Impressionism. Now, those of you that have been taking this program with me, we realize Impressionism is not something that you can just be like, oh, I want to try that, and you pick it up and you do it. You have to have the right kind of mind for Impressionism, because there's really no structure to it. How you get your figures, your shapes, your designs is through light and color. So, and you'll see, Monet. Monet, he was one of the 4 founding artists of Impressionism. And we learned, those of us that took, the class last year, he was one of the last paintings that we tried, and it was pretty difficult. I think 2 of you guys actually did well, and we were just trying to do one lily pad, not a whole pond of them. So Impressionism was developed in France in the 19th century, and they were produced somewhere between 1867 and 1886. That's when you got your big grouping of it, because these 4 artists were actively working on the technique and trying to get it out into the world. So it started as paintings, then it became music. And I think that we can all think about certain musics that would probably, like a song or an artist that you can be like, yeah, that's kind of Impressionism. The paintings were done to attempt the accuracy and objectivity to record actually visible things around us, but it was done in terms of light and color. And it was typically a lot of outdoor scenes. The music was to convey an idea and effect through the wash of sound. And I know I mispronounced that word. I know there's a couple of people out there going, ugh. But yeah, it's not a structure like you have Beethoven, you had that tempo, and it's not there. It's just a wash of sound. In 1862, 4 young men came on the scene. They were all, they all went to the school, and their teacher, what he wanted them to learn was to learn to paint the outdoors. Not necessarily landscapes, because landscapes have, let's face it, they've always kind of been around, but he wanted them to paint the outdoors, to get that feeling of the outside. Monet, Renoir, Cecily, and Bazille. And unfortunately, he died when I think he was 29. Really young artist. And actually, through reading, and I was discussing this with a friend of mine, that he was probably one of the most talented ones of the 4, and died at age 29. So in Paris, there was this thing called the Salon. And it was this huge art exhibit that was an annual thing. There were judges. They had to judge the pieces, whether or not they could even be in the art show. So you had these judges who probably had their own idea of what they wanted this art to be. So what they did was they thought, well, these judges aren't letting us in and they can make or break us. So we're going to start our own exhibit. So that's what they did. They started their own exhibit. It was considered a huge scandal. I mean, huge. But because they did this, they allowed other artists to do the same in years to come. So, you know, when other techniques started up and the salons like poo-poo, you're not what we consider art, they could have their own exhibits and introduce their art to the world. And this is music, painting, sculptures, it all. So thanks the original Fab Four. So, you know, due to them, you know, we've probably been introduced to some of the most amazing art in the world because they decided to take a stand against tradition and what everybody thought was the norm. So I at the end, I've got a list of website address. I want you guys to look at them. Monet and Renoir, they actually would challenge each other. So there was this painting called The Frog Pond. So here's Renoir's. Very impressionistic, right? And here was Monet's. So you can tell that they are very similar. You can tell like, oh, that's the same pond. But it was their own view of it. So you can kind of see where they differ, where they're similar and where they differ. They actually had a very strong, tight friendship for most of their lives. Again, all this will be at the end of the video too. But here are the four. Very, very solemn looking group. This is actually... Ronnie's going to make an appearance, guys. Sorry. Oh, the joys of working from home. So, yeah. Like that's Cecily. And here's Virgil. So you can tell, like, each one of them, you can see the impressionism of it. Like, you can tell, especially with this, that there's no structure. There's no, like, oh, here's a line, and there's a line, and here's a building. And it's all just colors and shapes. That's what I tell everybody. Now, you know, but at the end of it, you'll see, you know, what I'm talking about. You can look at them. And I really do want you to get on these websites and find out for yourself, you know, if you really, you know, if you really dig these artists. I do in a way that, I mean, I like any classical style. And this is one of the most famous ones. In fact, this one right here had its own little, it's a Renoir, and its own little segment on Gilmore Girls. And if you're a fan of Gilmore Girls, you know that Lorelai Gilmore looks very similar to the girl in this painting. And they had this really neat art show where they dressed people up in famous paintings and even did the paint, like the makeup on their face to look like paint and the shadows and things of these paintings. And they would come out and they were in these huge frames and they would stand there, of course, very still. And I forgot how many seconds they had to do this. And it was a huge life-size paint, like painting of this famous, and it was wonderful. But yeah, that was a really good episode because, of course, I love art. I love Gilmore Girls, and it was just the best of both worlds. But yeah, so I really want you, and I've got a lot of more information. Of course, here is Monet's water lilies, and this was done at night. This was done in the day. So he did, I don't know, hundreds of painting, of water lilies. And even within the last year of his life, he did a water lily. And you really had to get your impressionistic mind working on it because it was very loose. And if you were a fan of Monet's and you knew what he was doing year after year after year, just redoing this painting and taking it to new levels, you would be like, oh yeah, but yeah, I would suggest look that one up because it's very interesting. But yeah, here's just a closer up view of our four men here. Let's see, this is Monet, Brazil, Renoir, and Cicely. So they're, they, even without the beret for Monet, you can tell, like, they're probably French Impressionistic. Yeah, I'll stop making up words in a minute. But, this is a style that I don't particularly like to try to, like, I don't even try to paint this technique. I don't. Because I'm an artist that I need those lines. I need that structure. I need something to go by. I'm actually working on a commission piece right now that I'm like, I don't know if I can do it because it's very flowy and I don't like flowy. So I'm going to give it my best shot, and if I can't do it, I'll just let the lady know, listen, I tried. I've tried other stuff that I've been like, I just can't, because I'd rather say, I'm sorry, I can't, maybe somebody else can, than me send out something that's not the greatest, because at the bottom, that, like I tell you guys, when you do your paintings, your initials at the bottom, that's your painting. So, yeah. Well, it was a short program because I'm trying some new stuff with it, but I hope you guys enjoyed it. I know I talked a little fast this morning, but it'll all calm down soon. Maybe we'll all get together maybe sometime at the end of the year. I hope so. But, you guys, remember, stay kind because we're all going through stuff right now. And stay safe. Stay safe in your home. If you don't have to get out, don't get out. If you do get out, wear your mask. Use your hand sanitizer when you get back in the car. Stay away from people. Somebody gets up on you, back away. And if they keep coming, say, hey, love you, my fellow human, but you got to back up. I'm trying to stay well. I'm trying to make it through this. I want to be that old woman that's sitting on my porch, 70 years from now going, well, not 70 because I'm a little older than that. 50 years from now. Yeah, I could possibly do that. And say, I survived the pandemic of 2020 through probably 2022. So just like I said, stay safe, stay healthy, stay kind, and I will see you next month. And like always, if you have any ideas, something you'd like me to talk about, and I'm going to kind of do this for a while because we're not meeting and it's hard to teach you how to do something, and because in that program we worked a lot off of our own ideas, and there was a lot of questions being asked. So right now I'm going to do like strict ed stuff. So I'm just picking an artist or a technique, and then so I want you to research those artists, and if you have any questions or if you want to talk about something, you always know where to find me, guys. Always know where to find me. Call the library, send me a message, email me. I'm right here. So this has been Mariah from the Allen County Public Library Art Education Program from my kitchen. And I will talk to you guys next month. See ya.